In other news, Israeli President Rivlin handed out the Golom Security Prizes on Wednesday this week in celebration of some of the most outstanding and successful missions of the past year. And of course, the Israeli Mossad spy agency was among this year's recipients for the theft of Iranian nuclear archives last year. And here now with more on the unprecedented operation is diplomatic analyst Idan Ronen and Colonel in the Reserves, Olivier Rafowicz, a senior security and military analyst. Thank you both so much for coming in.
Thanks a lot.
So, Colonel, I'll actually begin with you today. To what extent was this a complex and dangerous operation? What went into pulling this operation off?
We don't know the details of the operation, but we know the result of the operation, which is a successful, an incredibly successful and outstanding operation by the Israeli Mossad security and spying agency. And this actually changed radically the situation of what Iran is doing really on the ground concerning the Iranian nuclear program. And this operation actually made the American, but not only them, being aware fully of the lies of Iran, and actually they decided after that to get out from the agreement.
And so, to what extent do you really think that played a part, though? Because it sounds like at times that was one of President Trump's campaign promises was basically to pull out of that deal. So to what extent do you think that played a factor beyond maybe just sealing the deal or being the final nail in the coffin for the United States?
There is a very clear and very deep alliance between the USA and Israel, specifically on security and military issues. And this operation actually made the American get really clear proof of the lies of Iran concerning this program. So I believe that it gave President Trump a good legitimacy, a good basis to get out from the agreement based on the results of this operation based on Mossad. So it's a kind of linkage between the Israeli security operation, which was a clear success, and the political decision by the American. Of course, they are fully independent to do what they want to do. It's a first power in the world. But actually, it shows the alliance, it shows the relationship, the special links between the State of Israel and the Americans.
How would you characterize the same thing?
I would personally say that I think this is quite correct. It is just Trump never really necessarily needed this sort of proof. He always knew the Iranians are a bunch of deceivers and liars. But it becomes way more effective for him and way more convenient for him for the Europeans, whom he considers as a bunch of nuisance. Because the Europeans always try to bypass his sanctions. They only try to ease off Iran's tough sanctions. But now, when he has the golden proof, when Mossad has literally sneaked into Iran's own home and basically shown this sort of golden evidence, he now can tell the Europeans, aha, now I'm going to see, now we'll take a look if you think I'm lying or not. If me, Trump, and Netanyahu, if you think we still are only big talkers.
So we're now a year later after the revelation was made by Netanyahu here. We see him revealing the archives. It's been a year now since then, but the Europeans are essentially still in the deal. Why do you think that is? Because
they just the Europeans. I mean, I'll put it just very bluntly and plain and simple. The Europeans side with the Europeans. They knew even in advance. They never needed even that sort of evidence. The Europeans and the Iranians, they are like linked to each other so strongly. They are in desperate need of their oil, and they would do anything for that. They know that they even risk themselves because Iranian ballistic missiles, who are in fact intercontinental ballistic missiles, their range can even reach their eastern countries. They still they don't care. All they care is just the financial issue, the money, and they're going full throttle with the Iranians, regardless of Trump, regardless of Netanyahu.
If I may, I would be a little bit more cautious concerning the impact on the Europeans, because maybe there is a delay that they need to swallow the results of the operation and then to get the decision. Generally, the Europeans are much more, I would say, cautious and much more slow concerning the action. So in this case, we see now that the Iranians are going to change or to increase the production of plutonium, which is an incredible decision concerning the nuclear military program. And we start to see and we start even to listen new music coming from the Élysée in Paris or coming from Germany, even from Italy, maybe from Brussels, that something maybe is changing. It's still a little bit slow. The music is not very loud, but something is going on. And I think that the Israeli Mossad operation was a crucial element in order to ignite a new decision-making process among the Europeans, even if you say, and it's true, there is a big economic and financial interest between Europe and Iran, but at the end of the day, no one wants, in this area, and also in Europe, no one wants a nuclear military Iran with a nuclear bomb. Because this bomb is not only a danger for the Middle East and for Israel, but for all the world, also for the Europeans themselves. So just one point. So I think that the Mossad operation was a global strategic operation, not only for Israel interest, but for the world. And that makes Israel and the Mossad operation in the first scale of a military spying operation all over the world.
It's all going to be going down in the history books of all international agencies of intelligence, whomever they are, CIA, MI5, MI6. This is so James Bond style story.
Precedent-setting operation?
Absolutely, beyond each and every figment of imagination. That's going to be taught in their schools. And yeah, as our fellow just suggested, Mossad has really crossed the nail here. He has really has made its own, and yeah, all the glory definitely is to be credited to him.
Well, so what do you think is the most maybe surprising or amazing or inspiring part of this operation that will be kind of referenced in the history books to come?
The fact that they have gone deep into an enemy country with no kind of protection whatsoever. Just think of that. They're going inland very deep. They literally have no way. If they're getting caught, then they're done for it.
Final comment?
Yeah, we don't know the details, and it's good that we don't know all the details.
Sure.
What is good that we know the result, and the results are outstanding for the world security. And in this issue, we can only salute the Mossad and salute Israel, because if you remember, years ago, the Israeli army destroyed the Iraq nuclear plant in Iraq, and it saved the world. Now we are saving the world another time, but it takes time for the world to say thank you to the Israelis.
Yeah, it's always like that.
Well, unfortunately, we have to end it here, but thank you so much, Colonel Rafowicz, Idan Ronen. Thank you so much.
Sure.
Thank you.
Thank you.